Hi guys, welcome to another learning cast. This one is dealing with price elasticity of demand. It's not an easy concept, and so I've tried various ways to explain it, and the best approach I think is to adopt a modelling approach. But before we get there, we need to look at some basics. So here we go. 5%, 15%, 85%. 110%. Can you convert those percentages into decimals? What would their decimal equivalent be? Alright, so if you've got 0.05, 0.15, 0.85, and 1.10, then that's great. You understand. Because percentages and decimals are convertible, aren't they? Alright, what else? Okay, what about if we increase something by X percent? Okay, so increase something by X percent. Is there a quick way to do that? Yes, sure. Look, here's the something. Let's say it's 100. And we're going to increase it by 10%. So here's the procedure. We take that 10% and convert it into a decimal format, which is 0.10, and then we add that to 1. So this is what I'm talking about, plus 0.1. And what we end up with is 110. What about if we just trying to create some space. What about if we did the opposite? Okay, so if we decrease something by 10%, what's the procedure going to be? Well, again, we've convert that 10% into a decimal value. There it is, 0.10. And instead of adding it to 1, we take it away from 1, that decimal value. So here's our something, which is 100 times 1 minus 0.1. So just doing the bit in the brackets first, it's going to be 0.9. 100 times 0.9 is 90. And that represents a 10% reduction in 100, or of 100. Okay, so that's okay, isn't it? You know, a couple of quick methods there. I'll just create a bit more space, just shrink this one down a little bit if I can. There it is there. Alright, so we've looked at converting percentages into decimals and decimals into percentages. We've looked at a quick approach to increasing something by a certain percentage, and we've looked at a quick way of decreasing something by a certain percentage. Alright, what else is there before we move on? Well, it's this one here, that total revenue is equal to the product of price times quantity. Sometimes, instead of using the multiplication sign, we just use a dot to mean multiply. Right, so look, if I tell you the price is $100 per unit, and we sell 10 units, hopefully what you're going to tell me is that the revenue is going to be $1,000. That's great. Now, what happened to these measurement units? Well, of course they cancelled each other out, didn't they? We had one that was like this, and we had another one that was like this. When we multiply the two together, we don't even need to do that. What we can see is one below and one above cancel each other out. And that's why we're just left with the dollar sign. Okay, so how's that? Alright, okay, moving on. Alright, what's price elasticity about? Well, it's about how does a change in price change total revenue. That's basically what we want to know. If this thing increases, then the change in price was a good move. If this thing decreases, then the change in price was not a good move. Alright, one of the things that we know, if we change the price, then there's going to be a change in quantity. And these two together, it's their interaction which causes the change in total revenue. The complication is this, isn't it? According to the law of demand, if one is going up, the other one must be going down. So what we know is, hey, if the price is going up, the quantity is going down. Or the reverse, the price is going down, then the quantity is going up. So not only do we need information about what's happening with price, we need to know what's happening with quantity. Is quantity changing by a small amount, or is quantity changing by a large amount? So what we want to try and determine is the degree of elasticity that quantity has in response to a change in price. Alright, well that's a pretty quick overview really, but it's a good one. It's a good global overview. That's basically what is happening. And the complication is this, isn't it? Is when one variable is increasing in value, the other one is decreasing. Okay, quickly now. Yeah, look, here's the modelling part. So look, let's take a price quantity combination. This is our starting line. So this is $100 per unit, and this is 10 units. All right. Now, let's say we increase the selling price by 5%, and we discover what happens is that the quantity demanded or quantity sold goes down by 10%. Okay, everything's kosher, isn't it? We haven't invalidated the law of demand. All right. So what we can do is we can do that quick increase. So the new price is going to be $105. We can call that P2. What's the new quantity going to be? Well, you know what to do. It's going to be 100 times 0.9, and that's going to be 9, and that could be Q2. So what we can do is we can multiply these two together, and that's going to give us the total revenue. So that's going to be 1,000. Likewise, the same sort of thing. We want to find out what the total revenue is going to be, and if we use our cell phone, it will tell us that the total revenue is going to be 945. So what's the change in total revenue? Remember, I'm using this to mean change, small change. It's called delta, that little triangle. And so where did we end up? We ended up at 945. Where did we start? We were at 1,000. And so that means that our total revenue has gone down by $55. So the question is, was putting up the price a good move? So was putting up the price a good move this time around, given the information? Well, the answer's got to be no. Isn't it agreed? Why? Because our total revenue has gone down. All right. Now, this is what I want you to see. We've got quite a nice little model thing going on here, haven't we? This thing here represents our modelling template. So that's going to allow us to investigate other price and quantity changes. So let's just remind ourselves about the first price change that we had to look at. So the change in price was 5%. the change in quantity was minus 10%. Okay, well look, let's just be a little bit experimental, a little bit explorative. Why don't we just change it around? So this time, hey, the change in price is going to be 10%. That's an increase, and the change in quantity is going to be minus 5%. So if we're going to do our modelling thing, what do we have to do? Well, look, we just need to take this information and put it into our template. So that's going to be now plus 10%, and that is now going to be minus 5%. Okay, I've done my bit. I want you to do your bit now. I want you to work out the change in total revenue and then decide whether the price change has been a good move, right? So I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. Okay guys, how did you get on? Did you agree that the change in the total revenue is a gain of $45? So then the question is, has the price change been a good thing given the information? And the answer has got to be yes, hasn't it? With the price going up on this occasion, what's happened is that the total revenue has gone up. So the price change has been a good move. Right, well look, time's running out. So I think the best thing for us to do is to work through a worksheet that has you using this modelling template to give that required insight into price elasticity of demand. Right. So catch you later on another learning cast.